I am back with another World Coin bulk lot video. I have today 2 bags of 3 pounds of World Coins. Both of these bags cost $20. This same dealer used to sell the same thing 2 years ago at $16 for 3 pounds each, and I guess the price has gone up over the last couple of years. Have to be careful. This bag has fallen apart a little bit. So what we're doing in this video is this would be a long video if we stopped and looked at every coin, so we're not going to do that, but we're going to go through here and pick out what I think are the rarer coins, the stuff that we don't see as often. I haven't gone through this yet, although I can see some things like maybe this Iran coin right here that might be pretty good. So let me get out a box and we're going to go through some of these. This goes to show you that bulk lots that you can find at a coin show are going to be a lot better priced than the ones that you're going to find on eBay. I know that these lots have been searched, but the ones that you buy on eBay have also probably been searched. And so I take these and I go through and search them as well, but the ones that I'm going to turn around and sell these on eBay, but I'm going to try and add some better coins to go along with it. And I better get this open before everything just falls out of here. So let's get some of this on the table and see what the interesting coins are going to be. So a nice one here to start with. This one is going to be from the old aluminum. That's not that old, 1965, from French Polynesia, but this one is in really decent shape. So I like the look of that one. Here is a German Weimar Reichspfennig. There's a very similar Rentenpfennig that came out right before this, and to see how well worn it is, you can see how the individual stalks of wheat on here seem to have been pretty well worn. You can sort of look in the middle about right there, and it doesn't appear as sharp as it used to be. So that one might be, let's say, extra fine on something like that. It's this one from Chile with the Liberator Bernardo O'Higgins. It'll be the 1 peso from 1978. Not too valuable, but you don't see them all that often. From Britain, here is a 50 pence. So even though these are somewhat searched, I still always find a small number of really good things and plenty of coins that would have a good foreign exchange value. I guess he doesn't know how to cash those in. Here is a 2 francs from 1944. Here's a good one from Paraguay, I believe. Francisco Solano Lopez, 2007. Su Guarani, that is Central Bank of Paraguay. Looks like the National Pantheon of the Heroes. 1,000 Guaranis. I'm guessing mil means 1,000 here. So that's a good one. I haven't found that one too often. From Chile, this goes back about 80 years or so. This is the 20 centavos. The 1 peso of this time looks about the same, so actually over 100 years ago on this one. There is a variation to look out on here. There are some variations in weight, but also variation where the engraver's initials or name is etched into the rock on the bottom of that one. That is not silver, but that is something to look out for. What do we have here? An aluminum Philippines coin from 1987 featuring Francisco Baltazar. It'll be the 10 centimo featuring a fish with the scientific name on here. So I like finding that one. I've been finding a lot of these over the last couple of years. Some Netherlands Antilles. Actually, this one is Netherlands. The 1 cent coin in decent condition, so I've been finding a few of these. I've been finding them in brilliant uncirculated, even though they are about 100 years old. I don't know why I've been getting so many of those here lately. Always like the Mexican 10 pesos. like the design on here. Reminder always, if you ever find it with the letter N in front of the dollar sign or the peso sign right here, that means that the inner ring is made out of silver. But they only did that for about 3 or 4 years in the 90s. This isn't too rare, but it looks like it's in really decent condition. It's the 1957 25 pesetas. I always point this out if you didn't know. The actual date is inside the star. So let's get it focused. That looks like 59, so 1959. The 1957 on here is only the first date that one was made. Another coin from Chile. This comes from a short-lived time using the Escudos system, so it has that E with a little O on top of it. This is a 10 centimos from 1965 with a Santiago mint mark at the very bottom. And a large condor, Chilean condor on here. There is an older version of that coin made out of aluminum where the actual value of the coin was called a condor. Always like finding the Australian 20 platypus, although I've got plenty of them by now. That one's dated 1981. Let's see, is this one from Netherlands Antilles? Yes. It's the 5 cents from 1957. They still use that design today, I believe. Here's a good one from Ethiopia. There are some variations to look out for on this one that have to deal with whisker length. It's either the 50 cents or the 50 centime from Ethiopia. So I like finding that one. Let me pause for a moment and dig out some of the better coins out of here. Here we have a coin from Greece, if I'm not mistaken. This is Homer, the author of the Odyssey and the Iliad. And it's a 50 drachmas from 1990 featuring a sailing ship. Always like finding those. From the Soviet Union, here is a 15 kopeck from 1941. So this is an older design that is harder to find. This side stayed fairly similar, but the version that I find most often was made from 1961 through the 90s. Here is a coin from Tanzania in 1970 that features a rabbit on their 50 centi. I believe this is going to be a coin from Egypt. Eagle facing left, a couple of stars on the shield. It's going to be 10. That's a date of 1960. I know it looks like a 7, but it's actually, that's how in Arabic, that is how you draw the 6. It looks like our 7. Here's a coin from France that I don't find too often, that the camera doesn't want to look at. Here we go. I find the 5 centimes way more often. This one's dated 1911. That one's in decent shape on that side, a little bit scratched up over here, but yeah, we just don't find too many of those. Here is a country that we really don't find all that often. Former Soviet, can you read it? Qazaqstan. And this is a fairly new coin, 2019. I believe that on more recent coins, that used to be a K right there, but now they spell their country with a Q instead of a K. I suppose that's in Cyrillic, I guess. Maybe not. The Kazakhstan Republic. They have the 10 tenge. Here's a coin from Austria featuring an eagle, crown above its head here. Österreich. This is a 1 groschen from 1935. Then from Bolivia, here is a 1 Boliviano from 1951. For some reason, I always find these in extra fine or better condition. Get a good look at the countryside here. Llama, bundle of wheat, coconut tree, hill with a house in the background, a mountain behind that, and the the personified sun behind that. Moving to the Netherlands, the 1 cent here was a design that was used for pretty much up until, from starting in 1948 until they switched to the euro. But for 1 year only, they still had the previous queen, Wilhelmina, on it. So that makes this a 1 year coin, even though it's a design that you probably see quite often. Here's an older coin from Costa Rica, 1951. So quite a small coin, a 5 centimos. But lots of variations on Costa Rican coins with the metal content, the number of stars at the top. This one has 5. Newer coins have 7. The size of the mountains and the size of the sailboats, which are kind of well worn on here, but lots of variations, and I always have to double check it. Here is a coin during the reign of Olav V from Norway, where all of his coins this time have animals on them. The 2-oar features the rooster, which might be my favorite from that series. 1964 on that coin. Colombia, modern coins from Colombia feature animals on their coins, except for this one, which features a plant on the 100. I guess that's called the Frelejon. That's the 100 pesos from 2016 from the same series. The 50 pesos features, I believe this is an Andean bear. Bear of some kind. 50 pesos from 2015. Here is a French coin, and this one might be really rare. Dated 1956 because it is a French-controlled West Africa. I think Occidental means West. I think. These countries, when they were no longer controlled by France, formed the Western African states. So several of these countries still share a common currency to this day. Here is a modern coin from Poland, the 10 groszy. The newest version of these coins feature a couple of rings that go around it with the date at the very bottom. So it has a smaller design of the eagle on it because they've added a couple of rings to the back. Here is a better quality coin from 1921 from Czechoslovakia Republic. This is the 50 hleru. Pretty good, that one. A low-value Hungarian coin. This one is a 20 filler made out of aluminum from 1988. Showing this one because it is still has its luster to it. This is a coin from Belgium, although really easy to find. This one is from 1954, so an older date of this coin too. So 20 centimes from Belgium, and this, of course, comes from a time where Belgium coins spell their country 2 different ways because of the 2 different languages, so there's 2 versions of most of the coins. Something else to look out for in these coins is whether or not it has a coin alignment or a metal alignment. If it was a metal alignment, the rarer version, you would flip it this way, and it would be right side up, but since it is upside down, it is the coin alignment, where you have to flip it this way. The coin alignment is a lot more common. And then here's another older French 1 franc, but this one seems to be in much better condition than I usually find it. Dated 1958. Here is a nice large coin from Romania featuring Mihai Viteazul. Fortunately, it has some, must have been taped to something or glued to something on the back, so that's kind of ruined, but dated 1991. It does have Romania written on the edge. From Italy, here's an old copper coin at Vittorio Emanuele III, featuring I guess that's a bee pollinating a flower from 1927. The last time I included a coin from this country in my video, I got the name wrong. I think I said, and now I'm drawing a blank again. I think the last time I said Albania on this, I got the A right, but this is uses an alphabet that they might not use anywhere else. And I don't particularly recognize this coin. This is from Armenia, dated 2003. So far in this video, I'm going to call this the rarest coin that we found in this bag. Here's a nice one from Lebanon. Is it Libya or Lebanon? I think it's Lebanon. A 2.5 piastres from 1955. That one has some pretty good luster to it still. In Arabic, they draw their 5 like a 0, so back here it looks like it says 1900, but it said 1955 on the other side. So at this time, they were making an Arabic side of their coin and an English side of their coin. We've got several more of these Netherlands 1 cent. This one dates all the way back to 1877, but that's not even in fine condition. Wish this one wasn't so dirty, but this is from the Netherlands. Made out of aureate bronze, what they call this metal. Can't really see the color of it because it's so dirty, but this is the 1 gulden from 1990. Moving on to the Philippines, this is not a rare coin, but this one is in a lot better condition than I usually find it. The larger 1 centavo, back when I believe it was the Commonwealth of the Philippines. I usually find the S mint mark version of this coin. That's a whole lot easier to find, dating back to 1944. Here is a short-lived 1 yen coin from Japan. This one seems to be in better shape than I usually find it. They only made it this way for about 3 years in the 1950s until I believe later they switched to the aluminum 1 yen. There's another German Weimar Republic coin. This one is from 1924, A for Berlin mint mark. It is a tin Rentenpfennig. This later changed to the Reichspfennig. That one's in better shape than I usually find it. Let's move to Colombia, where we have this 2 centavos coin from 1933. At one time, I believe this coin is made out of copper. Then I also have the 5 from the same time, which is much well worn, even newer, 1946, and that one's just rough. But better coin. I'm surprised these don't have as much value, but from 1967, larger coin, the 50 centavos, featuring a wreath of flowers going around it. So I do think that's a pretty coin. From Mexico, this was a short-lived 20 centavos coin featuring the Olmec culture during the early 80s. This one's dated 1983. Panamanian coins, oftentimes you could just say they probably are reusing United States coin planchets because this is the 1/10 of a Balboa. So it's the same shape and size as United States dime. And they had 90% silver while America had 90% silver. That lasted until 1964. So this one in 1982 would be copper nickel. Here is a country that you don't find very often. From 1944, we have Bohemia. It's written in a couple of different languages here. Here's the Bohemia and Moravia. Eventually, this became part of Czechoslovakia. There's the Kechi right here. This, while it was called Bohemian Moravia, they made a total of 4 coins, and that is a set that I have completed. But this one is the 1 koruna from 1944. They're all made out of zinc, so they all can get in pretty rough shape. This one looks better than I usually find it. Here's a French coin in really decent condition. From 1953, it's a 20 francs, and I think this one's going to have a book value of $2 or $3. Also check for the B or possibly even a C mint mark that would appear under the date right there, which can definitely affect the value on it. Most of the time the B mint mark is rarer, but not always. I've dug out everything else I want to look at out of the first bag, and we've got one from Morocco. This is a 10 francs. On their calendar, 1371, so I think that is approximately 1951 on our calendar. Sometimes these coins in better condition can have a decent value to them. This is better than I normally find this coin. This is a Belgian 2 francs from 1944. And if you like American coins, there is a significance to this one. Because if you remember how during World War II, the United States made our 1-cent coin out of essentially steel. There's actually a little bit of zinc-plated steel. Well, they had a lot of planchets left over in 1944, and they made the Belgian 2 francs coin out of the old U.S. planchets that were unused. So a neat connection right there. Here is I really like this coin from New Zealand. It's the larger version of the 50 cents coin, featuring the Endeavour sailing ship. So large, beautiful coin here. Always glad to find this one in the larger size. Here's something I haven't seen in a while. It's been a couple of years since I found one of these. Here we have from Nepal a 1 rupee. And so it's a rare coin from Nepal that actually has anything in English written at the top. That's where it says Nepal and then rupee-1. So they draw their 1 to look like our number 9. We have a map of the shape of Nepal in the middle, and then we have Mount Everest in the background. And then we flip this one over. Probably the reason it made it in this bag is got glue on it. So this was glued to something at one point. I hope I can get that off, but I might not be able to. It's covering up the Mount Everest that is on this side. I like the look of these. The coins from this era of Poland has what I would call a nice 1920s look to them. In this case, I guess 1930s, kind of an Art Deco look, but we've got the eagle here. I like finding those. Another coin from Panama. This is an obsolete currency, so I always like finding this coin from 1940. It is a 2½ centésimos, so it is a half of a nickel. This did not last very long, but for 1 year they even made something that was half of this, a 1¼ centésimos. Imagine trying to do the math on that. Next up, I am really surprised to find this in here. This is a silver coin. This was back when Sweden was putting 40% in their coin, but this is kind of a larger coin, so even 40% of this is still going to be worth $3 or $4. Anytime I can find something like this in a $20 bag, it helps me get my money back, I would say. I think we have a new winner for the oldest coin in this video. This dates to 1857. This is a 1-cent coin from the Netherlands East Indies, which became Indonesia. Very well worn though, but it's got different languages on this side. Not even sure which side is up. It doesn't have English, doesn't have our alphabet, and I think it's got one language in the center of the ring, one language on the left, and another language on the right. I can't read any of them, but Netherlands East Indies. Here's a coin from Chile that didn't last very long, and this one has a pretty good look to it. It's a 20 centavos from 1950. From Iceland, this is a 5 Auror from 1946. Decent shape on that one. Another coin from Belgium. Another one that may have had some glue on it at one time. This is the 1 franc from before World War II. There are 2 versions of this one where they have not only the name Belgium in 2 different languages, but it has the words good for in both of those languages at the top, so 2 versions of that. Here's a modern coin from India. This is the modern look at the 10 rupees. We've got the rupee symbol in the middle, and we have, I guess, 10 different nicks on here for 10 rupees on a bimetallic coin. And I'm always surprised at how well worn I can find this, even though it is not that old of a coin. From Italy, we have a coin from, not Italy, Ireland. We have a coin from 2 florins, so this is during their pre-decimal days. I don't believe this coin was ever silver, but it's dated 1954. During the Chamber of Commerce days of French coins, right after World War I, we've got this 2 francs from 1923. Sadly, this one's pretty well worn. Possibly even clean, not sure. But at the same time, the 1 franc is a lot better. Dated 1922. So that's a good one. From Greece, another, I guess, someone from their past, Alexander the Great. From 1990 on the 100 drachmas. That's always a pretty coin. From El Salvador, we've got a tiny 1 centavo from 1956. There was also at this time a 2 centavo made out of brass. Here's a coin made out of iron. 3 crowns means Sweden. From 1948, it's hard to find this one without rust on it, so that one is better condition than I normally find that coin. And then from Brazil, we have a 5 cruzados coin. Well, I said I was going to go through 6 pounds of coins today, but we're already at 27 minutes of this video. I think this next bag is going to have to wait until the next video. So I guess I will post this next one here in a few more days. But do you think this was worth $20? I sure do. And we're going to... So I do buy a lot of these bulk lots, and if you're wondering what I do with them, I go through, I pick out the ones that are new to my collection, I pick out the ones that are going to upgrade my collection, and then I take the rest and I sell them on lots on eBay, but I don't just sell lots of coins that are super picked through, because I like to add some other coins, some better coins to my lots to kind of make them a little bit better. At least that's what I try to do, and so if you're wondering what I do with them. But if you'd like to try and find this dealer and you're in the Tennessee area, his name is, I think it's Dennis, and he shows up at every Knoxville coin show, most of the time anyway. He also sells a lot of tokens, so that's how he's pretty easy to find. He's got many binders full of tokens, and he sells these coins at a pretty good price, which is why I always buy them. All right, I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye.